Welcome to the Gospel Teachings of Richard Arlen Kern. Today we're going to be talking about fire. Here are the types of fire mentioned in the Bible. Number 1, fire and brimstone in Sodom. This is found in Genesis chapter 19, verse 24. 2, burned with desire, found in Numbers 11:4. 3 is fiery serpent. That's in Numbers 21:6 and 9. Number 4 is evil spirit from God to cause war. That's Judges 9:20. 5, out of God's mouth went a devouring fire. Found in 2 Kings 22:9. Fire or lightning from heaven killed 50 men. 4 Kings 1:10. 7, fiery chariot. Found in 4 Kings 2:11. 8, chariots of fire, invisible. That's 4 Kings 6:15. 9, God in the time of his anger shall make his enemies as an oven of fire, and trouble them in his wrath, and fire shall devour them. Their fruit shall be destroyed from the earth, and their seed from among the children of men. It's found in Psalms 20, verses 9 through 11. God's wrath made fire against Jacob. Psalms 77:21. 11, a fire shall go before the Lord and burn his enemies, found in Psalms 96:3. 12, God's ministers are a flame of fire, Psalms 103:4. 13, David says, burning coals shall fall upon the wicked, and God will cast them down into the fire. In miseries they shall not be able to stand. That's Psalms 139, verse 11. 14, lips of the wicked are a burning fire. Proverbs 16:27. 15, give food and drink to your enemy, and you'll heap hot coals on his head. That's found in Proverbs 25:21. And that means if you're extra nice, that will drive your enemies crazy. If you act like you care, act like it matters, and try to fight back, then that's when bad things happen. But if you are the bigger person, you walk away, or you give them food, give them drink, help them in some way, and that will heap coals on top of their head. 16 is acceptable men are tried in the furnace of humiliation. So that means God is trying his people in the furnace of humiliation. He tries and tests them by humiliating them sometimes. That is how he truly knows if you are a man of God or a son of God. 17, violent taking of spoils shall be burnt in fuel for the fire. Isaiah 9:5. 18, God's wrath makes men fuel for the fire. That's Isaiah 9:19. Number 19, under the king of Assyria shall be kindled a burning, as it were the burning of a fire. It's Isaiah 10, verse 16. 20, the light of Israel shall be as a fire, and the Holy One thereof as a flame. And the thorns and briars shall be set on fire, and shall be devoured in one day. It's found in Isaiah 10:17. God's wrath and words are as a devouring fire. Isaiah 30:27. 22, everlasting devouring fire, found in Isaiah 33, verses 11 through 14. 23, God has given Jacob for a spoil, and Israel to robbers, and has poured out upon him the indignation of his fury, and a strong battle, and has burnt him round about, and he knew not, and set him on fire, and he understood not. That's Isaiah 42, verses 24 through 25. 24, Jacob not burnt by the fire and flames, not burn in him. Isaiah 43, 1 and 2. 25, Babylon, the greats, astrologers, are as stubble. Fire has burnt them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. That's Isaiah 47, verses 13 and 14. 26. All you that kindle a fire, encompassed with flames, walk in the light of your fire, and in the flames which you have kindled. This is done to you by my hand. You shall sleep in sorrows. That's Isaiah 50:11. 27. The Lord shall judge with fire. That's Isaiah 66:15 and 16. 28. The carcasses of the men who transgressed against God, their worm or torment shall not die, and their fire shall not be quenched, and they shall be a loathsome sight to all flesh. That's Isaiah 66, verse 24. 29. God's indignation will come forth like fire and burn, and none can quench it because of the wickedness of your thoughts. That's Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 4. Burning fire in hearts. Jeremiah 29. God's words as a fire. Jeremiah 5:14. 32. From above God has sent fire into my bones, and has chastised me. That's Lamentations chapter 1, verse 13. 33. I will pour out upon you, Ammon, my indignation. In the fire of my rage will I blow upon you, and will give you into the hands of men that are brutish and contrive your destruction. You shall be fuel for the fire. Your blood shall be in the midst of the land. You shall be forgotten. That's Ezekiel 21, verses 31 and 32. 34 is God's wrath. Ezekiel 22, verse 21. I poured out my indignation upon them. This is 35. I poured out my indignation upon them in the fire of my wrath. I consumed them. I have rendered their way upon their own head. That's Ezekiel 22:31. 36 is God will make a fire in Egypt, pain and distress and waste in its cities. That's Ezekiel chapter 30:16. 37, jealousy of God, a fire. That is Sophonias chapter 1, verse 18, as well as 3, verse 8. 38 is third part brought through the fire. That's found in Zechariah 13, 8, and 9. And this is also talking about testing, that God will be bringing his people, or the people that say they're his people, through this fire to test them, to harden them as if they are silver or gold. 39, whoever says, you fool, shall be liable to the fire of Gehenna. That's Matthew 5:22. 40, the Son of Man's angels will gather all scandals and those who work iniquity out of his kingdom and cast them into the furnace of fire, where there will be the weeping and the gnashing of teeth. That's Matthew 13, verses 41 and 42. 41, cast into the everlasting fire, cast into hellfire or Gehenna fire. That's Matthew 18, 8 and 9, and Mark 9:46. 42, depart from me, accursed ones, into the everlasting fire, which was prepared for the devil and his angels. That's Matthew 25, verse 41. Number 43, then to go into hell, into the unquenchable fire, where their worm or torment dies not, and the fire is not quenched. That's Mark 9:42 through 47. For everyone shall be salted with fire, and every victim shall be salted. That's Mark 9:48. 45, Christ casts fire on the earth, found in Luke 12:49. 46, fire assay everyone's works, 1 Corinthians 3:13. 47 is Christ come in fire to inflict punishment, found in 2 Thessalonians 1:8. 48 is God is a consuming fire, found in Hebrews 12:29. 49, people's words a fire. That's James 3:5. 50, you rich weep and howl over your miseries, which shall come upon you. The rust of your silver and gold shall devour your flesh, as fire does. That is James chapter 5, verse 1 and 3. 51, ungodly destroyed by fire on day of judgment. That's 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 7. 52, Sodom incurred punishment of eternal fire. So that's talking about Genesis, but that's found in Jude chapter 1, verse 7. 53, hail and fire mingled with blood turns 1/3 of earth and greenery. And that is found in Apocalypse or Revelation chapter 8, verse 7. 54, a mountain burning with fire cast into the sea. Also found in Apocalypse chapter 8, verse 8. 55, a star named Wormwood, burning like a torch, made 1/3 of the rivers and fountains of water bitter, and killed many, found in Apocalypse 8:10. 56, horses' breastplates like fire, that's found in Apocalypse 9:17. 57, tormented with fire and brimstone, and the smoke of their torments goes up forever and ever. That's Apocalypse chapter 14, verses 10 and 11. 58, sun's heat scorch mankind, found in Apocalypse 16:8. 59, pool of fire, found in Apocalypse 19:20. And also, if you're considering this, Apocalypse or Revelation is the last book of the New Testament, it's very obvious that fire is being used by God for his wrath against the sons of Satan, the people that don't come to him or choose to backslide to no end. He's giving everyone a chance. He's trying to put you all through some sort of fire so that you can be tested and you have to come out of that fire. Fires and burnings, these are dictionary definitions. Fire, 1, fire in the normal sense, the active principle of burning characterized by the heat and the light of combustion. 2, destructive burning as of a house or other building, or of a town, forest, field, etc. 3, anything like a fire in giving light, brilliance, etc., as the fire of a jewel. 4, ardor, fire, intense heat, emotional warmth or heat, eagerness, brilliance. Synonym, devotion, earnestness, excitement, fervor, intensity, passion or strong feeling, or zeal. 5, strong feeling as the fire of love, hate or anger, violence or physical injury of passions. 6, liveliness of imagination, as paranoia. 7, torture by burning, hence trouble, affliction, suffering, severe trial. 8, like fire, in that it burns and inflames as the fire of the fever burned without ceasing. 9, firearms or artillery and their discharge or firing, shooting. Number 10, anything that comes fast, like the rapid firing of a firearm, as a fire of criticism. Number 11, uninterrupted succession as of questions, remarks, or interjections. 12, to go through fire and water, to undergo great difficulties or dangers. 13, to take fire, to take violent offense, to become enraged, to fly into a passion. 14, under fire, exposed to the enemy's fire, hence, in the course of being attacked, as a politician under fire. 15, to inflame, to excite, as to fire a person with anger or revenge. 16, to cauterize. 17, to throw, hurl, or fling, as to fire a stone through a window. 18, to oust, to eject, to dismiss from a position, to discharge, as to fire an employee. 19, to become excited or aroused. 20, to fire up, to become irritated or angry. Fire blight, a disease of fruits, such as apples and pears. 22, fire bomb, a bomb or missile intended to start a fire, incendiary bomb, or rounds, actually now, as well. 23, firestorm, an intense fire over a large area, as when initiated by an atomic explosion that is sustained and spread by the inrushing winds created by the strong draft of rising hot air. That is a firestorm. 24, fire water, alcoholic liquor. Very interesting. That is something that that's my grandpa's writing. I'm not exactly sure where he's getting that. That is I've never seen that before, and that actually I'm just gonna say that fire water to me actually makes a lot of sense. Let's be honest. Alcohol is not a good thing for you or anyone, and consuming it can be very much like fire, and like you're being put through a judgment, or put through a test to be judged. So make sure that alcohol is not something that you are, I will say, overusing. Definitely not overusing. It's something that you need to drink in moderation. Jesus drank wine. Plenty of people through the Bible drank wine. But it was known that drunkenness was a sin, and so that's where we leave it. Alcohol is used for, it helps your stomach, and it can make you happy. But you have to remember, there's a point, and that point is drunkenness, and we're not supposed to cross that point. 25 is fire worship. This is worship of fire, particularly worship of the sun. 26, firing line, the line from which gunfire is intended to be directed against the enemy, the front position in any kind of activity. Fiery, 1, containing or consisting of fire. 2, like fire, glaring, hot, etc. 3, characterized by strong emotion, ardent, spirited, as fiery words. 4. Easily stirred up, excitable, as a fiery nature. 5. Easily set on fire. 6. Inflamed, said of a sore. 7. Heated by fire. 8. Synonyms: parched, feverish, ardent, fervid, impetuous, unrestrained, spirited, vehement, irritable, meddlesome, passionate, fierce. To burn or burn, to consume with fire, to reduce to ashes by the action of fire. 2. To subject to action of fire. 3. To injure by fire or something with the effect of fire, as friction or acid. A. To scorch. B. To dry excessively, to cause to wither by heat, as the sun burns the grass or plants. C. Sunburn. 4. To produce a sensation or effect in or upon, similar to that of heat. A. To inflame with anger or desire, etc. B. To affect with excessive heat, as a fever burns a patient. C. To impair, or to destroy partially the tissue of, as if by burning, as to burn with lye, or acid. To burn one's, this is 5, to burn one's fingers, to get into trouble, as by meddling or taking part in any matter not concerning oneself. 6. To be inflamed with passion or desire, as to burn with anger or love. 7. To be injured by fire or heat, to be scorched, singed, etc. 8. To be affected with a sensation of heat, pain, or acidity, as the heart burns, to feel a cess of heat. The patient burned with a fever. 10. Synonyms are ignite, kindle, brand, consume, cauterize, cremate, incinerate, rage, glow, smolder, blaze, and flash. So, as you can see, this is a pretty in-depth research paper into the types of fire that are mentioned in the Bible. As we see at the end of this research paper, my grandfather dives into a lot of definitions that pertain to how these words were meant to be used in their particular verses. I urge you to look at these specifically. A lot of them are very good, and they're really when God is using his wrath against people for them doing pretty bad things. So, and or I guess the chariot too would refer to Elias, and that's a beautiful, interesting story that a lot of people can't quite comprehend. And I would say that is something that is interesting, that it is tied into a fiery chariot as well. But as we see, God uses fire to chastise and to teach. Not only fire, as you would think about fire like as a campfire or a fire of a house or wildfires, but fire of the soul or of your heart or desire or even strong drink. These are things that God uses. He also tests us in many ways, but he is putting us through a fire. And that is, I think, the general idea of this whole paper is that fire is what all of us will be put through to be tried. We will be tested, and you have to remember to be faithful and to pray very much for God to be on your side in this time, that he helps you understand what he's putting you through. Job, obviously, a similar situation, and I just did a video, I think it was yesterday, on him. I might have posted this morning. But regardless of that, he is one of the best people to look at when we're talking about being tested. He was faithful till the end, and if you even consider the things he was put through, his whole family died. Everything he had, his cattle, his sheep, all died. His house was destroyed. His whole body was full of sores, disease, and he was a mess. But he still was faithful to God, no matter what he was put through. And that is why that book is in the Bible, because nobody's going to be put through a literal hell like he was. And I think we have to remember that we have to look at Job and say, he was going through that, I can go through this. And that's a big wake up call to a lot of you, because he went through so much endlessly. And a lot of us get overthinking about these small matters that we have in our lives that will last, at best, a few months. We have to remember they are not forever. Our God is forever. His laws are forever. And what we're supposed to do is follow those laws while he is testing us to make sure he understands that we are on his side. Because that is what it is. It is a test to see, Are you a son of God, or are you on the other side? Are you in the darkness? Are you a son of Satan? And it's lines are going to be drawn like that very soon, and I think we're already getting close to this being a time where we will see a lot more of this fire mentioned in Apocalypse or Revelation to most of you. We will see a lot of that. If not already seeing it, there is fires in Hawaii. There have been plenty of fires in California, into Nevada, all on the West Coast. There were plenty of fires up north Michigan, into Canada. God is testing his people. And not only that, he is sending his wrath upon the earth because people are not passing these tests. They are failing these tests. And that is why God is, he's had enough. He's had enough. 2,000 years after he sent his son to save the world, we have decided to go further away. And God will punish us for this. He will, and he is. And just make sure you're on the right side. And you're praying, you're asking God to guide you and to show you what you're supposed to be doing right now. Because it's an interesting time. And I think it's God's time. And we will see that. Otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful night, and God bless you.